हमारे श्याम श्यामा की। नहीं कुछ लाल साधन की, नहीं निर्वाण की इच्छा। नहीं कुछ लाल साधन की, नहीं निर्वाण की इच्छा। सखी श्यामा को दे दर्शन, दया हो श्याम श्यामा की। सखी श्यामा को दे दर्शन, दया हो श्याम श्यामा की। अनुपम माधुरी जोड़ी हमारे श्याम श्यामा की। रसीली मधुभरी अखियां हमारे श्याम श्यामा की। श्री राधा कृष्ण की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। मैं कृष्ण स्तवन करती हूँ एक।
यस यस।
श्री बिल्वा मंगल ठाकुर की जय। करारविन्देन पदारविन्दं मुखारविन्दे विनिवेशयन्तं वटस्य पत्रस्य पुटे शयानं बालं मुकुन्दं मनसा स्मरामि। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। जिह्वे पिबा स्वामृतमेतदेव, गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। विक्रेतु कामा किल गोपकन्या, मुरारिपादार्पितचित्तवृत्ति। दध्यादिकं मोहवशादवोचत्, गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। गृहे गृहे गोपवधू कदम्बा, सर्वे मिलित्वा समवाप्य योगम्। पुण्यानि नामानि पठन्ति नित्यं, गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। सुखं शयानानिलये निजेऽपि, नामानि विष्णु प्रवदन्ति मर्त्या। ते निश्चितं तन्मयतां व्रजन्ति, गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। जिह्वे सदेवं भज सुन्दराणि, नामानि कृष्णस्य मनोहराणि। समस्तभक्तार्तिविनाशनामि, गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। सुखावसाने इदमेव सारम्, दुःखावसाने इदमेव गेयम्। देहावसाने इदमेव जाप्यम्, गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। श्रीकृष्ण राधा वर गोकुलेश, गोपाल गोवर्धननाथ विष्णु। जिह्वे पिब स्वामृतमेतदेव, गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। जिह्वे रसज्ञे मधुरं प्रिये त्वं, सत्यं हितं त्वां परमं वदामि। अवर्ण्यमेय मधुराक्षराणि, गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। त्वामेव याचे मम देहि जिह्वे, समागते दण्डधरे कृतान्ते। वक्तव्यमेवं मधुरं सुभक्त्या, गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री बिल्वमंगल ठाकुर की जय हो। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। हरे कृष्णा। धन्यवाद। प्रणाम टू ऑल डिवोटीज।
So is there time to do Radha Kripa Kataksha?
Yes, yes.
मुनीन्द्र वृंद्य वंदिते त्रिलोक शोकहारिणि प्रसन्न वक्र पंकजे निकुंज भूविलासिनि व्रजेन्द्र भानुनंदिनी व्रजेन्द्र सूनु संगते कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपा कटाक्ष भाजनम् अशोकवृक्षवल्लरी वितानमण्डपस्थिते प्रवालवालपल्लवप्रभानुराङ्घ्रिकोमले वराभयत्स्फुरत्करे प्रभूतसम्पदालये कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् अनङ्गरङ्गमङ्गल प्रसङ्गभङ्गुरभ्रुवं सविभ्रमं ससम्भ्रमं दृगन्तवाणपातने निरन्तरं वशीकृता प्रतीतनन्दनन्दने कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् तडित्सुवर्णचम्पक प्रदीप्तगौरविग्रहे मुखप्रभापरास्तकोटिशारदेन्दुमण्डले विचित्रचित्रसञ्चरच्चकोरशावलोचने कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् मदोन्मदाति यौवने प्रमोदमानमण्डिते प्रियानुरागरञ्जिते कलाविलासपण्डिते अनन्यधन्यकुञ्जराज्यकामकेलिकोविदे कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् अशेषहावभावधीरहीरहारभूषिते प्रभूतशातकुम्भकुम्भकुम्भिकुम्भसुस्तनि प्रशस्तमन्दहास्यचूर्णपूर्णसौख्यसागरे कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् मृणालवालवल्लरी तरङ्गरङ्गडोलते लताग्रलास्यलोलनीललोचनावलोकने ललन् लुलन् मिलन् मनोज्ञमुग्धमोहनाश्रिते कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् सुवर्णमालिकाञ्चिता त्रिरेखकम्बुकण्ठगे त्रिसूत्रमङ्गली गुणा त्रिरत्नदीप्तिदीरिते सलोलनीलकुन्तला प्रसूनगुच्छगुम्फिते कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् नितम्बबिम्बलम्बमानपुष्पमेखलागुणे प्रशस्तरत्नकिङ्किणी कलापमध्यमञ्जुळे करीन्द्रशुण्डदण्डिकावरोह सौभगोरुखे कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् अनेकमन्त्रनादमञ्जुनूपुरारवस्खलत् समाजराजहंसवंशनिक्वनादिगौरवे विलोलयेमवल्लरी विडम्बिचारुचङ्क्रमे कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् अनन्तकोटिविष्णुलोकनम्रपद्मजार्चिते हिमाद्रिजापुलोमजा विरिञ्चिजावरप्रदे अपार सिद्धिरिद्धिदिग्ध सत्पदाङ्गुलीनखे कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् मखेश्वरी क्रियेश्वरी स्वदेश्वरी सुरेश्वरी त्रिवेदभारतीश्वरी प्रमाणशासनेश्वरी व्रजेश्वरी व्रजेश रमेश्वरी क्षमेश्वरी प्रमोदकाननेश्वरी व्रजेश्वरी व्रजाधिपे श्रीराधिके नमोऽस्तुते इति ममद्भुतस्तवं निशम्य भानुनन्दिनी करोतु सन्ततं जनं कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् भवेत् तदैव सञ्चिता तिरूपकर्मनाशनं भवेत् तदा व्रजेन्द्रसूनुमण्डलप्रवेशनम्। इति श्रीमद् राधिका कृपा कटाक्ष स्तोत्र की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Thank you, devotees. Charu Prabhu is here.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Archana Mataji and Raksha Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Chara Prabhuji has just.
Prabhuji, today we get a golden opportunity. Thank you,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
yes.
Thank you, Raksha Mataji, Arjuna.
Thank you, Delima Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Haribo. Please accept my
Hare Krishna,
obeisances.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Sorry, I was working to the very last minute of my PowerPoints. This is a difficult lesson, you know. Let's get into going again. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagna Raghunathan पितम तम सजीवम साद्वैतम सावधूतम परिजन सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सगण ललिता श्री विशाखावितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्य वैष्णव्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय श्री प्रभुपाद जय श्री भगवत्पाद गोविंद आदि पुरुषम तमं भजामि ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयत् नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय श्री प्रभुपाद जय श्री भगवत्पाद गोविंद आदि पुरुषम तमं भजामि हरे कृष्णा गोविंद हरे बोल I'm very sorry. I'm a little late today. But I'm really working down the line. It's really I'm tired also. But let's get going, okay? Um, let me share my PowerPoints with you. So we're going to go pretty fast, okay? There's so much to cover. I assume that you done Kirtana, right? Everything?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So you're all ready? It's a heavy dose of a very deep philosophy, okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So I'm going to, some places I'll go slow and some places I may go faster, you know, and it is so complex and so much information is there. I may or may not be able to complete it today, you know, lesson 47. But if it remains incomplete, we'll complete next time, you know. So I'll give it a try. Okay, so everybody's with me.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Can everybody see my slide? Haribol?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Very
yes,
Yes.
Guruji.
So I'm sorry. So if you don't understand anything, just stop me in between, okay? I don't mind. Interrupt me. So these are the seven themes of this lesson 47, which is really not the part of chapter 14, but this authors of this book included as an appendix, okay? So the title of the appendix is The World Real or Unreal? That is the question, what we are going to see the answers to it, okay? The answer to it. In that process, these two theories, two proponents, opposite proponents. One is called Vivartavada theory, the other one is Parinamavada theory, okay? So that is what we are going to be discussing throughout this class today. Now, Vivartavada philosophy is really classically is that of the Mayavadi philosophy. Now, one thing we have to see, we have to be very careful. Adi Shankara, because Mayavadis are considered like part of Shankara tradition, Shankara Sampradaya, but Adi Shankara, he never ever proposed this kind of Vivartavada philosophy. Although some people mistakenly attribute to Shankaracharya, but Shankaracharya, this article makes it very clear. Shankaracharya was not the one who proposed this Vivartavada philosophy. In fact, his followers, several years down the line, gradually put this theory in the name of Shankaracharya. Okay. In fact, this article also points out Shankaracharya was not at all in support of Vivartavada philosophy, Mayavada philosophy. In fact, he is more in support of the Parinamavada philosophy, which is the Bhakti Vedanta philosophy. Everybody understood that point very clearly. Okay. And we will see how it goes. So these are the 8 themes. So the first one is the introductory part, which basically the authors are discussing this very question. This relatively real. So when you say world is either real or unreal, the issue comes, how do you define real and unreal? All right. So then we are going to be hearing the real and unreal is depends upon relative terms. So there is a real relative realness, okay, and there is an absolute realness. Absolute realness is attributed to the Supreme Lord, the absolute truth. Okay, so that is absolute, perfect. But the relative truth, relative reality is on the material plane. Okay, so that one has to be very clearly lodged in your mind. On that basis, the whole foundation of this talk today is based on that relative versus absolute. Okay, is that point clear to everyone?
Yeah.
Any question? None, right? Okay, so then the second.
Prabhuji, I have one question. પ્રભુજી
Please.
આ ચેપ્ટર 14 માં આપેલું છે કે એપેન્ડિક્સ એટલે શું મને નથી સમજાતું.
એપેન્ડિક્સ એટલે કોઈ બી માણસ જ્યારે પબ્લિશ કરે આર્ટિકલ ત્યારે મેઇન આર્ટિકલમાં જે ન એન્ટર કરી શકે extraneous material હોય but it's related to it, then they put it in appendix, means it's a separate part as an addendum. You know તને ખબર છે addendum કોને કહેવાય? રક્ષાજી,
No,
રક્ષા માતાજી,
ના
Addendum
નથી ખબર.
addendum means something you are adding to it, extra. Something that જે કંઈ તમે extra મૂકવાનો હો એને કહેવાય addendum. Okay.
તો પ્રભુજી આ
So
ભાગવતમમાં આપ્યું છે, એટલે મારે વાંચવું હોય તો આપ્યું છે
ભાગવતમાં
ભાગવતમ?
ભાગવતમ નથી. પણ તમને હું શરદ પ્રભુજી, can you, I think now the Samata Mataji has come up with she found the whole book, one of the party, one or two of the article volumes that she found, so that is freely downloaded, you know, so that you can see that. So I think Sharad Prabhuji didn't really share that downloaded article, downloaded book volume. In the last part of it, that particular volume is this particular appendix of chapter 14. Okay?
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
Sharad Prabhuji, can you supply to her that? I saw that you did share with that.
Volume 3,
that-
I'll again do it. Just now I'll
Yes.
do it.
And just I think you don't have to do what you can do, the last part of the appendix part, that you can send it to Mataji, you know.
Okay, okay, Prabhuji.
Right? Okay. So Raksha Mataji, I'm assuming that you did not read that appendix, and many of you also may not read. And even if you have read, it's very likely more than that. Often you might have been confused about it. Okay. So I'm going to make an attempt to clarify the way I understood it. Okay. So the second theme is about this analogy, and that analogy itself is debatable, the validity of that. Okay. And that is a snake in a rope analogy. You know, when there's a rope in a semi-darkness, the rope is hanging, the wind is making it hang, vibrating around. And if you see in the semi-darkness, like the evening time, it would really appear like a snake. And you'll get scared to it, that, you know, those particularly weak-minded people, they'll get really scared. So that is called snake in a rope analogy. So what we are going to see, the question is it truly applicable? Particularly when we are talking about Vivartavada philosophy of the Mayavadis, okay? So they use this analogy quite often, I think, you know. So that is the second theme. Third theme, so a lot of new things you might be hearing, okay? Theory of what called Satkaryavada. Satkaryavada. What essentially it is, it's a kind of an effect that potentially exists in its cause. So effect is buried in the cause. I'll give one simple example. Probably that's not a absolutely correct example, but somewhat drives the point home. You say milk and yogurt, you must have heard many times, right? So milk and yogurt, milk is the cause of yogurt, right? Yogurt comes from milk. However, there is so much difference between milk and yogurt. We all recognize that, right? There's a controversy about that. So this Satkaryavada is exactly that. An effect potentially exists in its cause. And how it is relevant to what the topic we are going to be discussing today, that is what we are going to see, okay? How it's relevant, that will be shown. Because both, both Vivartavada philosophy and Parinamvada philosophy, that hinges upon this particular kind of phenomena, what called Satkaryavada, okay? Again, Satkaryavada means an effect potentially exists in its cause. The fourth theme, now we'll be talking about the theories of Vivartavada. Sanskrit word Vivarta means what is actually called transformation, alteration, modification. This is called vivarta. Okay. And parinama is opposed to vivarta. Parinama means the result of it, right? So something you are talking about, result of what? That means transformation of something. So that's called parinamavada. Okay. So vivartavada, the word, what they're saying actually, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Brahma means Brahman. Okay, Brahma, not Brahmanda. Brahma. Brahma is eternal. That we can all accept, right? But they say the controversial statement they're making is this word is unreal. Okay. Keep that in mind, and I'll come back to that point, hammering again and again. That unreal is again on a relative term. It makes a gulf of difference. Okay. But the Mayavadis say that this world is unreal, and not only say the unreal kind of figuratively, they are saying literally they mean it. And that is why they are wrong. That's this point, this article is pointing out. Jiva Goswami is arguing against Mayavadi philosophy. Okay. And as I told you, Shankaracharya is not on support of that. That his Anuyayis, whose followers several decades down the line, they propose this thing in the name of Shankaracharya. So Shankaracharya is wrongly blamed for that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, just
Yeah.
one question. Charu Prabhuji.
Boliye?
Yeah, just again, just now you mentioned Jagat Mithya Brahma. So can you elaborate Brahma? We understand, is it that we understand Brahma is Brahman
It's a
effulgence. Good.
three aspects of absolute truth, right?
Yeah. So that Brahma you
The
are
first
talking
is
about.
Brahma Jyoti.
Right.
Brahman, as we know, devotees know that Brahman is the Brahma Jyoti of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, right? So the Mayavadis don't accept. They say everything is Brahman. And the Brahman is the supreme, what they call Nirguna Brahman, Nirguna Nirakara. It does not have a shape, form, or attributes, qualities. That's why it's called Nirguna Brahman.
So,
but the devotees call Saguna Brahman. So Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, they're the three aspects of absolute truth. Paramatma is a partial personal form situated in everyone's heart. Okay? And Bhagavan, again, the devotees differed greatly with the Mayavadis. But devotees say the Bhagavan is the supreme, is the complete representation of Bhagavan, Krishna, and that is supported by the Bhagavatam. Okay? But Mayavadis don't accept that.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. You're clear now, Brahman? What is Brahman?
Yeah.
In fact,
Okay.
the Mandukya Upanishad we discussed, right?
Yes.
All
Yes.
the 12 verses point out everything is Brahman, they say.
Brahman.
This Mandukya Upanishad is in the line of Advaitavada philosophy.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
All right. The fourth theme, that is again, we are talking about theories of Vivartavada. So what they're saying, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Brahm is the reality where this world is just an upadhi, okay, imposition. And Parinamavada, as I told you before, Parinam means something, the result of something. That's called Parinam. Everybody will understand that, right? So Parinam is a transformation of something that before. So it's a transformation of Vishnu. The big difference, Vivartavadi talk about transformation of Brahman, the alteration of Brahman, where here we are talking about Bhagavan Vishnu. So we are talking about Saguna Brahman comparing with Nirguna Brahman. Okay, and Bhagavan Vishnu. The fifth theme will be again coming across a few new terms. And this one is Eka Rasa. Ekarasa means, as name suggests, one essence, single essence. Now, this is discussed in the context of Satchit Ananda. Okay. So there are terms that background information, I think many of you may or may not be aware, but you have to know your basic, some of you might have done Bhakti Shastra, right? I hope. Bhakti Shastra, we learned this thing. So there is a Satchit Ananda, of course, we all know, right? As a devotee, you should know, because you are taking advanced Bhagavatam. If you don't know Satchit Ananda, you don't belong here. Sat represents eternity. Anything that is transcendental, that is eternal nature, as opposed to material, that is a beginning and the end, right? So that is called Sat. Chit is the knowledge potency, okay, cognizance. Consciousness also comes there, but right now you understand as a knowledge. Satchit and Ananda. Ananda means bliss, not ordinary kind of bliss, supreme bliss. So Satchit Ananda, Lord Krishna is representing that in absolute term. We also, as a soul, individual soul, we also have the nature qualitatively at Satchit Ananda, but we are in an infinitely minute quantity. Okay. Okay, then there are 5 shades or koshas. Sanskrit word called koshas. They are the layers over Atma. Okay, then see there are primitive organisms like bacteria, very, very primitive. They don't understand anything at all. Their consciousness is so primitive, all they care for survival through food source. It's called Annamaya Kosh. Okay. So there are 5 of them. As higher and higher level consciousness develops, then Annamaya goes to Jnanamaya Kosh, the mental aspect of it. Then Vijnanamaya Kosh, that's we coming to the living being, human beings. And then there is a Anandamaya Kosh, which is the supreme transcendental state. So we'll be talking about these 5 koshas, okay, from a different perspective, but nonetheless, you remember a background information, okay. And these are the coverings, layers over Atma, okay. And then there is a doctrine of the notion of the 3 bodies, Karana Purusha, Causal Purusha, Sukshma Sharira. So Karana Sharira, this body, Karana Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, and the Stula Sharira. You're all familiar with Stula Sharira, means the Pancha Mahabhuta. Okay. Subtle body, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankar, and consciousness, Antakarana. But the Karana Sharira is a bit different. It's more about a level of consciousness and things like that. We'll be covering that. I'll give some examples also, hopefully. So the 6th theme. So that Ekarasa, which I told you about, one essence, being discussed in the context of this Satchit Ananda and the 5 koshas, okay, covering the Atman. And also there is 3 shariras, Karana Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, and the Stula Sharira. The 6th theme will be hearing about the real meaning of Advaita Vedanta, conventionally a synonym of Vivartavada. So basically what this article is showing, something different, something new that I came across. They find the fault they're talking about with respect in a very convincingly manner. Both the old Vivartavada philosophy and the old Parinamvada philosophy, the way it was suggested before, they both have issues with it. and why they need to be modified, and they need to come through harmonization. Everybody understood what is harmonization? Harmonization, adjusted to each other, so both could be happy. Sakshaben, તમે સમજો છો? Harmonization. રક્ષાબેન, સાંભળો છો?
હા
she's
પ્રભુજી
gone.
સમજાય છે બાપુ.
આ
એકબીજાને
રીતે
બંનેને એડજસ્ટ
બે
કરી શકે.
opposing forces હોય એને કેમ વચમાં લાવવા?
હા યસ
Okay.
પ્રભુ.
So both different schools, opposing schools, they're fighting over each other. How they come together, both could be really happy with it. They can happily live with it. That's what we are talking about. How to harmonize. Because right now, Vivartavada philosophy and the Parinamvada philosophers, the old schools, they both are fighting over thousands of years now. Okay. This is a new thing we are hearing now. How to bring them together. And Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they are supporting that attempt. Okay. Actually, in Sandarbhas, particularly we covered Paramatma Sandarbha. It comes a lot in that, So we'll talk about the real meaning of Advaita Vedanta, conventionally a synonym of Vivartavada. Then at the end, so we'll be hearing that sixth theme, why we need to harmonize. Okay, why we need to throw away the old school and modify it. So some aspect of both, and bringing the result that is acceptable to both opposing views. Okay. So that the final theme is this unified theory of Vedanta. After all, it is a Vedanta theory, but one is a Advaita Vedanta theory, and one is the devotee theory, the Bhakti Vedanta. Okay. So they both must come together. And we are showing the article is showing the reason why the Mayavadis were wrong, obviously, but even we are also wrong, the old school of Vaishnavas. Okay. And that's hard to swallow, right? But we'll see it's showing convincingly. So far, the overall theme that I just discussed about you, what we are going to hear, all right? And I've got about 1 hour left, 1 hour to go, much deeper dive into this very dense philosophy. So we'll see whether we can complete this today or not. If not, we might take extra time, because it's very important you understand this philosophy. It has a direct relevance, and don't underestimate this statement. It has a relevance you need to understand. Okay. And I'm going to try my very best to make you understand the way I've absorbed it. Okay, before I go, any more questions?
Prabhuji, as you are saying that, take your time, because I tried to read this annexure more than half a day. I spent a lot of time. I could not
I'm
understand.
not surprised.
I did
I'm not
twice. So
surprised.
I did twice, and a lot of words that we are analyzing and presenting, simplifying. Now I think it makes sense. Take it, Prabhuji, because this helps us in many theories, like in Bhagavatam, many times
Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada also brings up, right?
Yeah.
It helps us to understand that.
So would you rather divide into two parts then? What do you think,
Yeah.
Sharad Prabhuji? Sanjeev Prabhu is there?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sanjeev Prabhu is there?
Yes, Sanjay Prabhuji is also there.
Okay, so let me know about if you want to do it in two parts.
I
The
think
theory
two
is very
parts will
complex.
two
It's
parts
very
will
difficult
Yes,
to do it
yes,
in one
better.
part.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm okay. Yeah.
All right?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So
Yes, two part is okay.
you're,
Prabhu.
you're okay, right? Because remember
Yes,
that
yes, yes. Prabhu.
I appointed you are the overall seer, okay? You are going to see you're going to have to see from a larger perspective. So you have to advise me, and I abide by your recommendation, okay?
Oh my God, yes. But yeah, sounds good,
I
Prabhu.
always try my
Yes.
best to accommodate, because I've seen the value of what you are doing, Okay, this is a complex slide. So we go little by little. Now that I know that we'll do 2 parts, so I'm going to take it a little bit easier, okay? And at the same time, I'm going to make sure that you understand. And feel free to keep on asking me questions. I don't mind at all if you interrupt me, okay?
પ્રભુજી આ પીપીટી તમે સેન્ડ કરી છે?
No, Yadikari, I was working on it till the last moment, you know.
ઓકે ઓકે.
And I still, the last part is still I have not done yet. But આજકાલ હું મોકલીશ, okay? કાલે મોકલીશ. એ મારો એસે બી કાલે it's due tomorrow. બધું એકદમ
Okay,
માથા
no
પર ચડી
problem.
ગયું છે. બધું માથા પર ચડી ગયું છે. But still I am paying high priority to my Bhagavatam. The essay is banging on my head. 2 essays I have to write just within 1 day. And you know how many slides I have to complete to do that essay? You have no idea. Nearly 200 slides. And that is all about, a lot of it has to do with Christianity, which is, I don't like to study at all Christianity. It's very complex. But in 1 day, I got to do it. But in 1 day, still I devoted almost all day on this aspect today. So I work very hard. So please try to understand, and I hope you understand and appreciate that, you know. So I expect some of you also spend time to devote this and to see if you can make at least an attempt to understand. Because I realize the critical importance, significance of this, what we are going to be talking about today. Okay, this is a complex slide, but I'm going to make it a little easier, okay? So here, what this slide is, the introductory part, okay? Lot of material I have summarized in a easily understandable way, okay? And that is, at least I have made an attempt. You are the judge. So first, this theory is about introduction. So the question I told you about the introduction is what? Is the empirical world real? Empirical world in this world we are living in, phenomenal world, okay? Not the spiritual world, material world. So the question is this world real or not? Because Mayavadi said this world is not real, it's all illusion. Even though we see every day, right? But still they are saying it's all illusion. If you become Brahman realized, then this world is nothing. Okay. So question is this world real or not, or unreal? But this article heavily emphasizes it depends on whether you consider on a relative term. All right. Mayavadis figuratively, Mayavadis literally accept this world is not real. Okay. But Parinamvadi, the devotee community, Vaishnavas, they think it is a figurative way of expressing it, not in real sense. Okay. But again, it's a grain of salt is there. Okay. As I told you, there's something wrong with both kind of philosophy, the old school. Okay. But now it's a refined term that we are going to hear to iron out those wrinkles. Okay. So here the top portion, if you see that, I'm sorry. Pay attention to the top portion. Let me see if I. That's too much magnification in there. Okay, so while all Vedanta schools subscribe to the theory of Satkaryavada, and I explained to you Satkaryavada, we are going to discuss in one theme, okay? But roughly Satkaryavada means, just remember right now, just one sentence, that the cause the effect is buried in the cause. Okay, that's what it's Satkaryavada. The effect is pre-existent in the cause. Easy to remember is means milk, yogurt. Okay, milk, yogurt comes from milk. So milk is the beginning element. Unless milk is there, yogurt cannot come. Okay, but from yogurt you cannot get the milk. So the effect is pre-existent in the cause. The views on the origination of the empirical world from Brahman vary because of that. And this is, I taken it from a Wikipedia article, okay, for a lay person's understanding. Purposefully, I took that. So Wikipedia is not an academician don't agree with that because that's not a solid evidence. But this is meant for lay person to understand complex terms. Okay, that's why many times I go to Wikipedia. So Wikipedia, here we are talking about this Vivartavada and Parinamvada. Vivartavada is the idea that the world is literally an unreal manifestation. And again, the literally and figuratively, that makes a gulf of difference. Okay, Mayavadis emphatically say this world is unreal. Okay, so literally they mean it is unreal. Manifestation. So manifestation is Vivarta. Remember, the baseline is Brahman. Brahma. Sanskrit word is called Brahma, but the English, they mispronounce it as Brahman or Brahma, you know. So Brahman is the underlying element. So both Parinamvada both Vivartavada and Parinamvada, they both say the difference between Nirguna Brahman versus Saguna Brahman. The Mayavadis talk about Nirguna Brahman, Nirguna Nirakara. Devotees talk about Saguna, like Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, okay, Bhagavan. So that's the only difference. But nonetheless, this Brahman, Paramatma Bhagavan, is the underlying basis on which this both Vivartavada and Parinamvada depends on that. So Vivartavada says that this unreal manifestation, Vivarta, that's the meaning Vivarta means, is the because of this transformation of Brahman, alteration of Brahman. Alteration, Sanskrit word is called Vivarta. Vivarta of Brahman. And that transformation, manifestation in this material world, and it is unreal. Literally, they say it's unreal. Okay. Now we'll come back to that. Then Parinamavada philosophy. They, in contrast, they are saying this world is real. Okay. Real transformation, that's called Parinama, real transformation of Saguna Brahman, that is Lord Vishnu. So there's a personal aspect of it, as opposed to Vivartavada Brahman is impersonal aspect of it. I'm really emphasizing all these points very clearly, so it should register in your mind. All these points which I'm emphasizing, you should pay attention to it. Okay. So one is called literal unreal. Okay. The other one is the this Parinama transformation of Saguna Brahman, but that is real. Old school of Parinamvada philosophers, they said that is real. But again, I'm telling you, real and unreal, the right understanding will depend upon what exactly you mean, relatively or absolutely. Absolute is the spiritual aspect of it, transcendental aspect of it. So none of them in the real sense mean anything when you compare it with the absolute. So when you say real, this Parinamvada real, it's real compared to unreal. But when you look, compare with the absolute, absolute is absolute real. So in that comparison, this is not real. Even Parinamvada is not exactly real. It's a figuratively real. You understand the difference between figuratively and literal? Rakshabin, તમે સમજો છો? રક્ષા માતાજી, are you
ના
there?
પ્રભુ, ના પ્રભુજી.
કોઈ વાર આપણે સમજીએ કે એનો બે મતલબ નીકળે. એક તો રિયલ મીન્સ રિયલી તમે કઈ કહેવા માંગતા હો કે મતલબ એ, ને બીજું ખાલી તમને એક ઉદાહરણ રૂપે તમે સમજાવવામાં આવે. એ રિયલ ન હોય પણ ઉદાહરણ રૂપે, એક્ઝામ્પલ રૂપે. So it's called figuratively. Okay, કોઈને આપણે કહીએ કે તું અરે યાર તું તો શું માણસ છે યાર, સાવ નાખી દેવા જેવો માણસ છે. પણ ઘણી વાર એ એકચ્યુઅલી કહેતા નથી કે તું ખરેખર નાખી જેવો માણસ છે, પણ એક ઉદાહરણ રૂપે કે તું કઈક સમજ, બેટા તું સમજ કઈક, આમ ન કર. તેને ખાલી કહેવામાં આવે ઉદાહરણ રૂપે. એ લોકો ઈચ્છતા નથી કે તું આવી રીતે છો. સમજ્યા? એટલે ફિગરેટિવલી they say something, they don't really mean it. કોઈ એમ કહે ને કે I'm going to kill you, right? ગુસ્સામાં આવીને કોઈને કહે ને કે I'm going to kill you, but they don't mean it. They just say it figuratively that I'm going to kill you, versus somebody who really intend to kill someone. હવે સમજ પડી?
હા પ્રભુજી. યસ પ્રભુ.
Yeah, so that is called figuratively and really. So Mayavadis, they say really, they say that આ જે જગત જે છે એ ખાલી શું કહે ને, it is just a illusion. Okay, એટલે ન એથી નથી, સમજ્યા? આ નથી, આ નથી, આ નથી, આ નથી એમ, જ્યારે devotees, they say no, it is real. Okay, but when you compare to absolute, there is not that real. Okay, so here this article makes a very emphatically this point. The Adi Shankara appears not advocating Vivartavada, but and his followers, after many decades when Adi Shankaracharya was no more, they kept on in the name of Shankaracharya, they proposed this philosophy. So mistakenly people think that it's a Shankaracharya philosophy, but Shankaracharya originally was not a Mayavadi philosopher. Okay, devotees, Vaishnava should really be careful. Shankaracharya was no ordinary personality. He was the incarnation of Lord Shiva, and we hear in the scriptures, some of the acharyas are explaining why Shankaracharya said that, but they also probably did not understand, as this paper, this article makes it very clear. Shankaracharya was not of the, in fact, જે શંકરાચાર્ય જેણે પેલું જે ગીત લખ્યું છે, ખબર છે કયું ગીત કહે છે? રક્ષાબંધન તમને યાદ છે?
જય જગન્નાથ.
Bhaja Govinda,
Yeah.
Bhaja Govinda.
Bhaja Govindam. So somebody who wrote a Bhaja Govinda, how could he be impersonal, right? He used to worship Lord Shiva, Lord Krishna himself, because he is the follower, he is the incarnation of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava. How could he propose that? That still makes a sense, Okay, the Shankaracharya appears not to be advocating Vivartavada. His expressions are remote from any connotation of illusion. In fact, he appears much closer to Parinamvada philosophy, the devotee aspect of it, okay, Vaishnava aspect of it. So Vivartavada explanation is likely involved gradually among these followers, the Advaita sub-school, much later. Okay, if you understand this part of it, now I'll go to here. So what we are going to see now, how to explain that in a easily understandable way. So there are three ways that it's been shown here.
Prabhuji, Charu Prabhuji, I just question. So all these things we are talking about again, regarding our material creation, right? So Jagat Mithya Brahma Satya, that what Mithya part we are talking about. We are not talking
Exactly.
about
Mithya.
Jagat. We are
Mithya
not
means
talking.
not.
Yeah.
Mithya means unreal.
So
It's an
creation.
illusion.
Yeah.
It's an
Yes.
illusion.
Yeah. So all that Vivartavad.
So word Mithya comes quite often here.
Yeah. So the Vivartvad or Parinatvad, we are talking about this creation, right? That we are talking about. That Jagat,
Yeah,
what we talk
Jagat.
about. We are
Exactly.
not.
We are talking about
Correct.
this world. The world.
We are talking about this world. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Jagan Mithya, Jagat Chiche, that Jagat this is unreal. Okay. So that is what we are talking about. Okay. So now in terms of what you mean when you talk about relative terms, then one could be not that what you're saying. Okay. So here the Mayavadis who came after Shankaracharya, they say Vivartavada philosophy, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Do you see my cursor here, the red cursor? Do you now notice that why I use red cursor? It shows very clearly on the white background, right? Can you see my cursor?
Yes, YG. Yes.
So Vivartavada
Yes,
philosophy is वाक्य जो महावाक्य ब्रह्म सत्यम जगन मिथ्या, literally illusory transformation of Brahman, they are saying. Okay, so Jagat is coming from Brahma. That's what they're saying. Now I know what's going on in your mind. We also in Jagat comes from world, okay, from the Bhagavan Vishnu, the external energy, right? Paramatma, supersoul enters. We discuss about the creation, right, at great length. But there's a big difference. So Vaishnava school, opposite to that Vivartavada, is called, really it is called Shakti Parinamvada. So it's a potency. Shakti means energy of the Lord. Shakti Parinamvada philosophy, the theory of transformation as potency, the devotees consider that. Okay. But the question of real aspect of it, real but transcendently unreal. Now you see begin the difference. Mayavadi said it was unreal, Jagat is unreal. Devotees say it's real. But when you now talk about in relative to the absolute truth, transcendental truth, then that real what we are talking about is not exactly real. And that element is very important to remember when we are talking about why both theories are with the flaws. So there need to come, harmonization must take place. They both need to be refined or modified. So that the root of that desire for modification lies right here. When Mayavadi says unreal, and devotees know it is real, the world is real because we all see it, we experience it, right? The only thing that devotees say, this world is created, maintained for some time, annihilated, again then recreated like that. So it's a temporary, but it is real. However, when you compare that reality, the realness of it, to the absolute, there is not real. And that I think we'll agree. Jagat is, after all, it's not the world that we want to live, be here. So the third aspect of it, based on unreal as an illusion in the sense of not being absolutely real, there are three types of existence. Okay, before I go into that, I want to make sure you understand the real and unreal when compared to the absolute, then the water gets muddied. Okay. Everybody understood so far? The real and unreal.
Yes, Prabhuji, I
When you
think one
compare with the
analogy
absolute,
here.
the meaning totally changes. Meaning totally changes.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, I think one analogy that comes to my mind is what Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, like the banyan tree and the reflection. So the real part is actually the spiritual world, and the material world is a reflection in the
Yeah, good point.
water.
Good point. That's very good point. Very good point. Thank you.
Yeah, Prabhuji, another part also, when you say absolute, that means there is no change. Just now you mentioned this material world created, maintained, and annihilated. So is
Material
that the
world.
way material world, right? We are talking about material world. That's unreal.
Yes.
So just because it is not the same, means it's a undergo changes like creation, maintenance, and annihilation. Whereas the spiritual world, there is nothing exists like that. It's eternal,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yes,
eternal.
correct.
So with
Correct.
that concept in mind, we are talking about here. It is a unreal in the sense like a parinavadi, unreal in the sense it is
No,
not the same.
Parinamadi, they said that they're real because real but only temporary.
Correct,
But
correct.
but even that real what we're talking about when it about spiritual world,
Yes,
this material world is not at all real.
yeah, I can understood.
Comparatively.
Correct.
Comparatively.
Yeah.
And what the Mayavadis talk about unreal, they are also incorrect. The unreality, when you compare the absolute reality, is not that. Because later on we are going to hear that Jagat, after all, came from Lord Vishnu. The 10th, second canto, third canto, and so on, we heard so at great length how creation took place. Without the help of Lord Vishnu through his external potency, and then he himself enters the formation of the all these ingredients. The Mahat Tattva from Pradhana did not go at all unless Supersoul entered it. So you can say that Lord Vishnu, because this point will come through at the next few minutes. So I'm preparing you for that. So both theories are flaws in that when you consider take into account the transcendental aspect of it. One is taking transcendental aspect of Brahman, where the devotees are taking transcendental aspect of the personal Brahman, that is Lord Vishnu himself. So Mayavadis take transformation of Brahman, impersonal Brahman. Here we are talking about transformation of Bhagavan. But again, there are also new terms you're going to hear, and I'm pre-warning you and preparing you for that. So many new terms will come across. Okay, but I'll gradually introduce those terms. Okay, as we go along. So here, to make you understand, to make us understand the real versus unreal in the light of the absolute, that what we are going to hear now, practically how it is to be done, how it is actually introduced to us, the way we understand. So this based on unreal as an illusion in the sense of not being absolutely real, there are three types of existence that we are now being introduced to. Okay, pay attention, please. One is, so technical terms are there. Okay, one is called pratibhasika satya. Pratibhasika satya. Actually, the word Sanskrit word is called satta. Satta means authority. Okay, but it's satya also. His truth is there too. So pratibhas. So I took it as satya. Okay, pratibhasika satya, or literally mithya, literally unreal. That is the position of the Mayavadi philosopher, Vivartavada philosophy. Are you with me so far? So it's a hallucination,
Yes, Prabhuji.
hallucination, mirage, dream, falsehood. All these are the connotation terms. So you get a clear concept of it. When you hallucinate, you don't live in the reality. You're in the dream world. Okay. Mirage. What is a mirage? When there's a hot summer is there, okay, you must have seen that the road in the hot summer, the steam coming up like that, right? So that's steam like water, but actually there is no water in that. It seems like steam is coming out from the road, but it's not. That's called mirage. So that is also obviously wrong, right? There's no reality to it. Falsehood. That is very straightforward. So in that regard, the Mayavadi philosophers explain that this world is mithya. What you see as a water in mirage, there is no water. Same way, what you see, what you experience this material world is really an illusion. Okay. Then the devotee aspects, what they are saying, for them, Vyavaharika Satya, in a day-to-day world. Vyavaharika means day-to-day world. We do experience world, right? So that is real, but figuratively, they say it is mithya. Figuratively. Because that is created, maintained, annihilated. Again created, maintained, annihilated. So it's annihilated, it's not there. But then it's recreated. So when you consider that, that's a figurative way they explain that as it's mithya, unreal in that regard, because it's temporary. But at the same time, it's real too. But then, third one thing, if you compare with the absolute, that is with Paramarthika Satya. Paramarthika, Parama means supreme, right? Arthika for his purpose. For the supreme purpose, that absolute real, if you look into that light, then both are wrong. Both this Pratibhasika Satya and Vyavaharika Satya. However, there's a gradation. The literal mithya, what they say, that is, of course, obviously wrong. But the middle one, the devotees are middle one, they are intermediate in between. So they say they are real, but when you compare with the absolute, that's not real. Am I making point easier to understand now? So there's a gradation between the two schools, the two opposite end of the spectrum, and both are wrong when you consider the absolute. So absolute means what? When you compare Brahman, Atma, Paramatma, those are the elements that you can easily grasp, easily interrelate. They are obviously supreme, they are obviously transcendental, so that is absolute reality. But the Vyavaharika Satya, for the practical way, it is real. Because we see every day, we experience it. But in reality, when you consider about the absolute, it's created and annihilated, cyclic way. So it's not really real, the realness of it. And Mayavadis are obviously wrong.
Prabhuji, just sorry, Charu Prabhuji, just a question comes. Just now you mentioned that unreal because it is a destroyed. Material world is a destroyed because it's not remaining same. But our also understanding is that it is transported again back to Pradhan, right? Goes back to Pradhan. So
That aspect,
basically, it's not gone.
Hold on. That aspect we are going to come to that. We are going to come to that in few slides. We are going to come to that. But nonetheless, let's go methodically, right? But this aspect you understood now? It's a relative term now. Real and unreal, relatively both could be different when you say real and unreal, when you compare with the absolute real, absolute transcendental state. Okay, shall I go move on now? So the middle one, Vyavaharika, practical aspect of it, so that is in between When they say real, figurative way, they mean more than the Mayavadis say that is totally unreal. Jagan Mithya. They say Jagan is not Mithya, because we experience it. However, it is temporary. So they say it is real, but when you are talking about absolute spiritual world, that's not real. Spiritual world is always there, eternal. But Jagan, this material world is temporary when you talk about that. Otherwise, it is real. Okay. It's going to be difficult to solve because later on I'm going to tell you something quite different, opposite of it. Later on, we are going to see, I'm going to tell you that this article is saying that even the Vaishnavas have to accept the unreal nature of the material world, the Vivartavada understanding. Okay. So I'm pre-warning you, don't be shocked. And you will see the reason behind that. Okay. But so far you understood the argument, right? Everybody understood the argument?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
You got to respond to me. You got to be
Yes,
you got to be
Prabhuji.
responsive to me. Whenever I ask someone, somebody has to respond to it. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So this slide now, the snake in a rope analogy. Okay. A foundational statement, Vivartavada philosophy, is like seeing a snake in a rope. That's what they're saying. That this world, material world, is not real. Just as in your ajnana, in your ignorance, when you see a rope in a semi-darkness, then you see the rope as a snake. But when you really carefully look at it, examine it, then you'll understand, no, you don't see snake anymore, but the rope is there. And careful examining what? When you come to Jnana platform, that's what they're arguing. When you study Upanishads, when you get a Jnana, then that illusion will go away. So this statement you see on the top portion, is this statement literal or figurative again? Okay. Mayavadis say it is real. Emphatically, they say it's real. That this Jagata is illusion. Really, it is illusion. But in truth, actually, it is figurative. Why? Because upon examining it carefully, one no longer sees a snake, but only a rope. And carefully means what? You study Upanishad. That's what they say, that we can become a Brahman. That's what they're saying. The Brahman itself came as the Jiva. Ridiculous thing they are saying that. A Brahman, when ignorance comes, that they become a Jiva. And Jiva, when they become Jnana, then they return back to Brahman. Then that means they themselves return back. Originally, we are part of Brahman. But devotees make a differentiation. We both are Brahman. But that Brahman, Bhagavan Brahman, is Parabrahma. We are just Brahman. Devotee aspect of it, okay? But the Mayavadis, they don't say that we ourselves become Bhagavan. When we get, so they say that you meditate on the Brahman, Nirgun Nirakara, how do you meditate? So in order to facilitate that meditation, for the time being, you accept Rama, Krishna, or any other form that appeals to you, okay, just to facilitate meditation. And when you become when you become really proficient enough to meditation, then meditate Brahman, then you need to give up all this bhakti process. That's what they're saying. Are you so far with me now? So
Yes.
Jnana and Bhakti Yoga aims at self-realization. The figurative usage of this statement is to evoke, basically why? So that renunciation comes, vairagya comes. And only through vairagya, self-realization takes place. This is a Jnani point of view, okay? Gyani's point of view is this. Their philosophy is this, that you cannot become self-realized. You cannot become Brahman realized. First of all, you are not this body. We are spirit, soul. Okay, that's what they're saying. So Brahman realization will come only when you give everything that is material. Okay, so you need to come to renunciation, sannyasa. That is called Nivritti Marga versus Pravritti Marga. Pravritti Marga means dharma, artha, kama. Artha is required, karma is required, and then so that is all required. But ultimately, you have to come to moksha platform. That's what they're saying that, and that's their end point. So far, am I making any sense so far?
Yes, Prabhupada.
Okay. So then only I keep going forward. Okay. At some point, I'll stop here in about 20 minutes. Okay. So seeing a snake in a rope is perception called pratibhasika satya. That we saw that three aspect of it, right? Pratibhasika is the emphatically unreal. What they're saying, this Jagat is unreal. Vaishnava said that it's real, but with some qualification. So seeing a snake in a rope is a perception called pratibhasika satya, hallucination. Whereas the world is vyavaharika satya, relatively real. Not absolute real, relatively real. Relatively real. The world is relatively real, which is driven by the laws of karma. And Prakriti is eternal. Material nature is not going to go away, it is eternal. Okay. So that is from Bhagavatam verse. Did you now understand this statement? This snake rope analogy?
Yeah, Prabhuji, sorry again. That karma part, how it comes there? Laws of karma?
Because laws of karma, only through karma we come back to the material world, right? When the karmic desires are there, we need to come. So, see, the world operates driven by the karmic desire, karmic bondage. Previous karmas you might have done, good karmas you have to enjoy. You still have to come back, enjoy in the heavenly planet. First here and then heavenly planet. Bad karma, you suffer. Suffering is in this world. So karma drives us to come to material world. And for us, the material world is created by the Lord. So it's a training wheel. It is designed to give difficulties, to learn. First, you enjoy to the fullest extent, then you supersaturate, then you realize this is all not worth. This kind of suffering is not worth. I give up. We all go through that. That's exactly when bhakti starts. First we want to enjoy like anything. How most of us come to the bhakti platform? We think back. That's exactly what. First, we want to enjoy our karmas, enjoy the results, and become super saturated. Then either you get super saturated when you eat enough. Then when somebody brings laddu, shrikanda, you don't want to eat. When you're fully saturated, your tummy is full. No matter how favorable food comes to you, I love pizza. When your tummy is full, you don't care about that. So this is what it is all about. When you super saturate the sufferings and everything, enjoyment and suffering, then that's the point comes bhakti platform. Okay, since every text of Vedanta, Brahman is real and the world is unreal. Both Vivartavada and Parinamvada philosophies must be harmonized. So now this is the first point. It comes why it is so. Okay, why some kind of refinement is required. Both philosophies, there are flaws in it. Mithya means unreal in the sense of not being absolutely real, but not unreal like an illusion as per Vivartavada. Did you understand that statement? So there's a gradation. I told you before, previous slide, right? A, B, C, right? A is pure unreal. B is relative unreal. C is absolute real. So B is in between, right? So that's what the statement is saying, that since every text of Vedanta, Brahman is real and the world is unreal, it's Vivartavada. Both Vivartavada and Parinamvada philosophy must be harmonized. We understand why Vivartavada is wrong, right? But little difficult to understand why Parinamvada philosophy of the devotee Vaishnavas, old school Vaishnavas, old school, okay, they are wrong. In what way wrong? Because they said that it's real, this world, okay? But actually it's not real. We also need to accept this aspect of Vivartavada philosophy, that this material world is unreal. Why it is so? So that is what we are going to spend next 5-10 minutes, and then we'll take a break for the next class, okay? Because this is a little difficult aspect to swallow. Mithya means unreal in the sense of not being absolutely real. That you understand, right? Everybody? Somebody come on, stand.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, we're following.
Okay. So mithya means unreal in the sense of not being absolutely real, but not unreal like an illusion as per Vivartavada. That's very crystal clear, right? So therefore the usage of the real unreal is figurative, right? Because when you come to the absolute, then you know what is real, what is real unreal. So once it is established that self-realization requires the need for renunciation, as the Gyanis say, the analogy of a snake in the rope should be taken as an exaggeration. When you say exaggeration, overacting, when an actor overacts, then you see through it, then you don't like to watch him anymore, right? Am I correct?
Yes,
So
Prabhuji, very correct.
figurative usage at its best. Okay. So now theory of Sat Karyavada. All these things are required, okay, for you to understand that. Because the last aspect, I want to spend another class. Because that's the most important aspect of it, the refinement. How both must be harmonized. Both must be refined to come to the center. Vivartavada we can understand clearly, right? Everybody understand that? Why that needs to be refined. But why Parinamavada philosophy has to be refined, that's little difficult to swallow. And why they are asked to accept part of its unreal aspect of the Jagat. And that you need to really study well to be able to understand that, as I understood it. And now I'm convinced that. And that's what my task is. How am I going to convince you? Based on my reading, my realization, my understanding, and that's what I'm going to make an attempt to it, But for now, accept my statement that it does require, convincingly, this article shows that Vivartavada, as Jiva Goswami and Sanatana Goswami says, that even the old school of Parinamvada also needs to be refined. So Satkaryavada, again, so what is Satkaryavada? The effect is potentially exist in its cause. Without a cause, the effect cannot come into reality. So Satkaryavada is the theory by which the world is said to be real. Now you understand why they are saying that you should know about this thing. Satkaryavada philosophy, that theory by which the world is said to be real. when the beginning and the end of the thing is meant to be expressed, there's a typo here. That thing is called real by the scriptures. The sense is with the intent to express that the nature of the ultimate cause is real. And this is the Sridhar Swami writes, and these are the Bhagavatam verse, okay? This is Bhavartha Deepika, that taken from that. So let me read again. Sat Karyavada, the effect is hidden in the cause. That is a theory by which the world is said to be real. Why it's real? Because the material world is the effect. The cause is coming from the Supreme. See, I'm connecting to help you understand that. Why Satkaryavada is relevant to this discussion. Okay? So when the beginning and the end of a thing is meant to be expressed, to be understood, that thing is called real by the scriptures. When you realize the significance of something, why you need to be learning that, why you need to realize, why you need to engross, why you need to internalize, then definitely that will give you the incentive to study that. That's what the scripture says that. So the sense is with the intent to express that the nature of the ultimate cause is real. The ultimate cause, the absolute cause. Okay? So that's ultimately that is the reality. Everything else, relatively real, relatively unreal. Now you're getting the little bit sense of it, that why Parinamvada is also at fault. There's a flaw. Parinamvada claim that it's a real, but that reality of the real is not exactly there when you compare with the spiritual world. I'm feeding the thing right in your mouth. But are you ready to chew it? That's what I'm worried about that. Haribol, any response?
Yes, Prabhuji.
प्रभुजी यस प्रभुजी
It's
इट
difficult,
रिक्वायर्स
Prabhuji, but
मोर इंटेलिजेंस प्रभुजी हमें भी समझने के लिए बुद्धि चाहिए प्रभुजी इतनी बुद्धि
नहीं,
नहीं
कोशिश कीजिए. मैंने तो कोशिश
यस
की नहीं
प्रभुजी
समझ पाया ना. कोशिश
हाँ
कीजिए.
यस प्रभुजी
you
That's
can
why
make it.
that's why I'm giving you practical examples. Practical examples.
Yakunji,
I'm telling you. ये कहते हैं कि देखो what this paragraph is saying, that the sense is with the intent to express that the nature of the ultimate cause is real. So something, there is a beginning and something there's an end. When the beginning and the end of a thing is meant to be expressed, that thing is called real. So this material world coming into existence, maintained for some time, and then annihilated, the real purpose of it, if we understand that, then we understand its reality. And I told you why we come to the material world, why the material world is created in the first place. When the Lord wants to create and annihilate, why is he wasting his energy? Because Lord is giving a repeated opportunity for us to become self-realized. If not in this lifetime, 100 lifetimes, 1,000 lifetimes, if there need to be. And every time he sends his representatives, scriptures are there, and your own personal experience is there. And then he himself comes and enacts those sweet pastimes. So this material world is a training wheel. You learn and think that this is fish out of water. So that is the reason why he created material world and keeps repeating every now and then. Because at the end of one cycle, we go back to in his body, Mahavishnu, until the next cycle comes. So he puts it, when we have not completed the work, he puts it in a suspended animation in his body. In the next cycle, he re-injects that in the womb of Prakriti. And he himself comes as a super soul situated in your heart to remind you what your previous unfulfilled karmic desires were there, to begin again there, make another attempt. Ultimately, you need to convert those material desires into spiritual desires. Then we become the Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body drops. Then only become liberated from material existence. So this material world is necessity. And that's the reason why he created that. So in that term, it's a reality. But in the other term, it's not real. So this home is not our permanent home. This home is not our permanent home. Am I getting through that?
Yeah, Prabhuji, just for my understanding. So beginning and end, again, that word is coined over here. So we are trying to understand if there's a relation, relation with the beginning and that end, then it is true, right? Or
Yeah.
Satya. That's what you were saying, beginning, because as whether it is coming as a result, cause and effect, or there's a relation, direct correlation, right? Yeah.
You
Okay. Thank
understood
you,
now,
Prabhuji.
right?
Yeah.
So the Satkaryavada, you understood that statement now, right? Why we need to understand Satkaryavada.
Yes, Prabhuji.
The effect is there in the cause. This material world is the effect. The cause, we should go back. Okay? And why it is so, you understood that now, right? And why the reason why material world is cyclically created, maintained, annihilated for indefinitely.
Yes.
He gives us repeated opportunities to become purified and to convert our material desires into spiritual desires. As long as material desire remains and it's stored in the mind, storehouse of all memories, we need to come back again and again and again. The translocation of the soul in the 8.4 million species of life forms in 14 planetary systems. Umpteen number of times we keep repeating that. So he gives repeated opportunities. That's the reason why he creates and annihilates the material universe. Okay, so let's move on. So Jiva Goswami does not accept. Now we are coming to that important point here. Okay, why Parinamvada philosophy also at fault? There is a why that also needs to be refined. You understood why Vivartavada philosophy needs to be refined, right? Everybody understood, right? They need to be taught that what they are saying emphatically, that material world is unreal. It is real, but some qualifications are required. Paridamvadi said that is real, but again, they also need to learn it's not absolutely real. And keep harping this repeatedly so that you understand. Unless you understand this point and internalize and make some sense internally, you're not going to understand the entire thing. And the last part is very, very important. Haribo? Anybody?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Okay, so Jiva Goswami does not accept that the world is unreal. Okay, that's very clear. The world is not like a snake in a rope, like the unrealness of Vivartavadis, because that analogy does not exactly fit by their own standards. They're saying that when we get a jnana from Upanishads, then we really see the snake is not really snake, but the rope is there. But until that jnana, lack of knowledge of Upanishads, then we see snake. That's what they're saying. But is just perishable like a clay pot. Now, why the example of clay pot is given? Clay pot, earthen pot, earth is there, mitti usme there, right? The earthen pot, when it drops, you make it to pieces, it ultimately returns back to the earth, right? The same way it is this. Consequently, although the world is not unreal, two double negatives are used here. Double negatives means what? Ultimately, it has a positive, right? When you talk double negatives, that is,
It is real.
it may mean real. That not necessarily have to be, but it may mean real. So is not unreal means it is possibility of being real. But that also grain of salt, okay? We'll see in a moment. The world is not eternal because there is a deviation throughout the three phases of cyclic time. Now, this statement also properly must be understood. What they're saying, consequently of what? The snake rope analogy, what the Vivartavadis said that this world is unreal. Okay, that's in that consequence we are talking about. Although the world is not unreal, the world is not eternal. So now Jiva Goswami is hinting why the old school of Vaishnavas also did not understand that point. He's beginning now, okay? Although the world is not unreal, because Parinamvada school, old school said that this is real, but they need to learn this world is not eternal. World is real, but it's not eternal because it's cyclically created and annihilated. The three phases of time. So Jiva Goswami thus validates the Sat Karya He validates by that. And he talks at much greater length in Paramatma Sandarbha. You want to go back, look at this Parichada 70 and 71. Okay, so far you understood this much point? Haribol,
Yes,
come on.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Because if you don't understand, then I cannot go forward, This is very complex, kind of understanding. But I'm making it step by step, and deliberately I'm trying to simplify it at the risk of oversimplification.
Hare Krishna Bhaiji.
Haji.
The main gist is that this material world, it is real as well as unreal. Real in the sense that material world is there, but unreal in the sense that it is not permanent, eternal.
Yeah, Vivartavadi philosophy, the Mayavadis, they say it's unreal. This is all illusion. But we know that it's not illusion. We experience it every day, this world.
Yes.
Okay? But they say it's your illusion. You are seeing a snake in the place of rope because you lack proper jnana. That's what they're saying that. Okay.
Yeah.
So unreal, that in that sense they're saying.
Yeah. Prabhu,
Vaishnavas are
correct.
arguing that no, it's not unreal, it is real.
Yeah.
Because we are experiencing it.
So,
Only it's temporary.
yeah. Prabhu,
But
in
then
nutshell, one thing is real, another one is saying unreal. So, actually, real is also wrong, unreal is also wrong. So, that is where Jiva
Yep.
Goswami is
So
explaining.
he's
Absolutely.
hinting that we are also wrong. Devotees are also
Yeah,
wrong. The old
Vaishnava
school,
also.
okay? The old school, why we are wrong? Because what we think is real is not really real. Only you can begin to see only when you
Sir.
compare with the spiritual world. Because you don't want to suffer. You don't want to keep on enjoying this matter. There is ultimately it's going to convert into sufferings. In that regard, this material world it seems like real, but when you consider spiritual world, it is not real. It is not your home, just like fish out of water. This is not your permanent home. Here you are here only for learning a lesson, hard way. Nonetheless, you are learning a lesson. So you wake up. So in that regard, the old school of Vaishnava, that this world is real, just to oppose the Vivartavadi philosophy, Mayavadi philosophers, they are saying this Jagat is unreal, mithya. They're mithya statement. But then what we say real, it's a relative term, figurative term. So Jiva Goswami is coming to that point now, okay? So Vivartavada philosophy is based on the snake rope analogy. However, when applied proper understanding of this analogy, Vivartavada is a genuine theory. This is Jiva Goswami is talking about. What he says, the Vivartavada philosophy is genuine one. He is going to qualify that statement, okay? In the sense of that realness of the world is not the same as the realness of the Brahman. He's talking about from the Vivartavada, Mayavadi's mental state. So, proposed modification of Parinam Vada. Now, should I stop here or we'll continue next? But will you remember up to now what we are talking, what we talked just now? Did it convince you and enter in your thought process?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Bolo,
Again
bolo,
and again
kuch
we
to
have to
bolo.
listen.
Huh?
Again and again we
Prabhuji,
have to listen.
we'll wait here. We'll
Next
digest
time.
once again so that next time we are more better prepared with that.
Yes. Yes.
No, on your own, you're not going to understand that if you didn't understand what I just talked to you about so far. Let's refresh that. What did we talk about? First, we talked about this phenomenal world, empirical world, is real or not. Okay, but you cannot
Depends on
answer
the
that. You cannot
it's
answer that unless you understand in terms of absolute reality.
it is the vantage point we are speaking from, as you explained, Prabhuji. What is the viewpoint we are speaking from? That's how we make it, whether it's a real or unreal. Like if the viewpoint is comparison with absolute, then it's not
And
real.
we both are wrong, right? Devotees are wrong, as well as the Mayavadis are wrong. But why is Jiva Goswami saying that Mayavadi is genuine? Did you understand that point? No, he didn't understand.
प्रभु जी जीव गोस्वामी कहते हैं कि रोप एंड स्नेक का थियरी को प्रॉपरली अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे तो ही मालूम पड़ेगा कि क्या है रियल
Yeah.
जो विवर्तवाद है वो कहते हैं कि संसार जो है वो मिथ्या है, इल्यूजन है। मगर जीव गोस्वामी कहते हैं कि ये जो एप्लीकेशन है उसको प्रॉपरली समझना पड़ेगा कि जो स्नेक एंड रोप है वो उनको प्रॉपरली अंडरस्टूड करेंगे तो ही मालूम पड़ेगा कि रियल अनरियल क्या है।
Exactly. That's why he brings that rope analogy again and again. So now he's going to point out, he's going to develop why. First of all, then now first we'll begin Vivartavadi, how they need to be. We all realize now, Vivartavada philosophy needs to be refined, right? There is no dispute about that. Am I taking it right?
Yes.
Mayavadi philosophy, they need
Yes,
to be refined, right? Clearly, they need to understand that Jagat is not totally, absolutely unreal. Come on.
प्रभु जी वो समझते हैं कि हम भी ब्रह्मी हैं, सब ब्रह्मी हैं, जगत है ही नहीं, हम सब ब्रह्मानी हैं।
Yeah. So वो समझने की बहुत जरूरी है। मगर उनकी जो थियरी है कि when we become study Upanishads, when we get a jnana, then we'll get over. That's That's not the final end result. Because you know that Shastra says, even from Brahma Jyoti realization, people fall down. Back to
And
material world.
also the fact कि वो Brahma comes into ignorance, that is also incorrect. That part of that.
Yeah. So Abhi, so now this aspect, next week when we come back, we will understand the refinement in how Jiva Goswami suggests how they need to be refined. Their thinking need to be refined. Okay, and Parinamvada people should understand some valuable points in Vivartavada philosophy. Okay? That is a little difficult to grasp. I'm going to make an attempt next week, just as I devoted almost an hour here. The next aspect also will spend an hour. Okay, next week we need to complete it. But you need to do little homework. Okay, I'm going to send you the slides, and you need to get some time, invest some time to go through it. Then it'll become little easier for you.
Yes.
प्रभु जी, ओल्ड स्कूल जो है परिणामवादियों के, तो उनमें कौन कौन से आचार्य आते होंगे प्रभु जी? मतलब हमें बोलते हैं ओल्ड स्कूल, तो उनमें मतलब कौन से आचार्यों ने ऐसा कहा होगा कि
They purposefully they omitted that they didn't want to identify that.
अच्छा.
They purposefully added. So old school thinking, that.
नहीं, मगर प्रभु जी हम कैसे समझे कि अभी न्यू स्कूल कहाँ से शुरू होता है?
Yeah, this controversy has been going on for centuries and centuries. This debate between the Mayavadi philosophy and when did the Vaishnava philosophy came into existence? Remember that this Madhvacharya or even the Ramanujacharya, they came, I think, 11th or 12th century. Am I correct, Sharad Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Where Mayavadi philosophy was developed in the year 700, 800, like that, when Shankaracharya was there. Right?
Yes.
Actually, his followers developed that. But nonetheless, it was way back. So Bhakti path, Vaishnava thinking came at much, much later, 500-600 years later.
प्रभु जी, इट मीन शंकराचार्य थियरी को मिसअंडरस्टूड किया गया है.
Definitely, because Shankaracharya was not instrumental in proposing this. He's unwise. His followers did not understand him correctly, they say.
So, Prabhuji, one question on that. जो आपने बताया, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned, I think even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said Mayavadi philosophy one should not hear. So he meant real Mayavadi philosophy.
This one. So I think he also mentioned about Shankaracharya that it is he is incarnation of Lord Shiva and his purpose is to spread that ignorance but re-establish Veda. So,
but that is where the statement that needs to be corrected. He did not spread that, he says, according. So our acharyas was trying to explain that, assuming that Shankaracharya did that.
But that's from Lord Chaitanya himself.
So that explanation is given with that assumption, erroneous assumption. That's what I'm learning from this article.
Okay. I mean, I have to go back and read, but if I am not...
I could never explain why somebody who's written a Bhaja Govinda could have said that, could have proposed that. All this time I had been struggling to explain that. But now with this article, when I read, it does make a sense. This remember, not this article. If you go back to Wikipedia, they give the names of Westerners actually. They talk about why, and they found the evidence. It was not Shankaracharya who proposed that. I'll give you the reference to the Wikipedia article. You read it.
I mean, my only point is I will go back and check, but if as per Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya said that, then we cannot challenge that part, right?
No, of course we are not challenging. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that's what I'm trying to tell you, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu criticized Mayavadi philosophy. Remember, he met Mayavadis when he went to that what's that
Kashi.
place called? Kashi, Banarasa, where that's the headquarters of the Mayavadis. And that time Mayavadi philosophy was prevalent. And he went there. In fact, he did not enter the hall first. He remained outside. Then he was particularly invited inside. And that's where the thing came. The Vedanta philosophy, Chaitanya said that is not properly understood. This is what Vedanta philosophy ought to be. So that refinement of Vedanta philosophy is what we are talking about, is Vaishnavism. Ultimately, Vedanta philosophy is not Advaitavada Vedanta philosophy, Bhakti Vedanta philosophy. Prabhupada also made a lot of contribution in that. So our Goswamis, what you Sanjay Prabhu, what you're saying about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we need to understand properly. Who could properly understand then his direct disciples? Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami is his Sishya, right? His nephew and also his disciple. Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami's disciple is Jiva Goswami. Whatever Jiva Goswami wrote, he gave it for editing part to Jiva Goswami. And what we are hearing is Jiva Goswami saying that. So how could there be a dispute between Jiva Goswami and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Am I making any sense?
Yes.
So we did not read it properly. So when Shankaracharya, when Chaitanya Prabhu said that Sunile Mayavada Bhasya Sarvanasha Hoy, right? Something like that, he said that, right? So there is a Mayavadi philosophy, not Shankaracharya philosophy.
That's a big clarification today, bro. That's wonderful.
Prabhuji, Mayavadi is not accepted the Lord. First, that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ne kaha aisa, hai na Prabhuji?
Yeah.
They have not accepted the Lord. Mayavadis are not accepting the Lord.
Because they accept only Brahma, Nirgun Nirakara Rupa,
Nirakara.
But this fact, Shankaracharya wrote the Bhaja Govindam, the way it is written, every line of it, if you read it, how could we say that he did not believe in Bhagavan?
Prabhuji.
Okay, let's not get into that. That's a never-ending kind of discussion.
Yes, Prabhuji, in Shankaracharya's ancestral home, even today, Radhakrishna Murti is there. He used to worship Radhakrishna at his home also. Acha, Prabhuji, in this slide 6 which you showed, that should be 11, not 11.4.18. It should be
this. I wrote this in great hurry today. I need to go through that again. There might be some typos might be there. I don't know.
Yes, it should be 24.
Which reference you're talking about?
Slide number 6.
Let me go through that. Just a minute. Can you see the slide now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
You said number 6, right?
Yes, 6. There is one.
Yeah. Here you're talking about this one.
This Govinda Vasya, no,
Yeah.
one before Prabhuji.
Oh, not number 6. You said number 6.
I said number 6, number 5.
Okay, here 5. There is no reference here.
No, slide 5.
Slide 5. Sorry. Yeah. This is number 5. There's no reference here. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, on the
Jiva
top.
Goswami implicitly rejects.
28. It should be 12, 24, 28.
No, both 24 is also there. I think 28 is also there.
No, it should be in the 24th chapter.
Oh, okay. So that might be typo. Let me check that. Okay, any other question? Just think about it while I check this thing. Okay, any more questions you have?
Yeah. Start Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was reading in one place, like you said Bhaja Govinda, right? When you write Adi
Yeah.
Shankaracharya. So it's a mention that, Varanasi, when he visited, at the time he saw that people, like just now we are talking, taking a Sanskrit word and grammatically they are interpreting, and that is what they were spending most of the time at that time. So by seeing all that, they were losing the essence. What is the written here? As you say very nicely here, the Vedantavadi, they are not Mayavadis. It's a very nice statement to make. So what needs to be defined is, Vedantavadi, when they understand um, basically Upanishad and Puranas correctly, then they can come to the same conclusion.
Yeah. You're right, Prabhuji, Sir Prabhuji.
Yes.
It should be 11:24:18. I think it should be here.
If it is 18, then he would contradict the Srimad
No,
Bhagavatam.
wait. Yeah, he did not accept some of the words from Bhagavatam, Jiva Goswami. Just like the other people, they did not accept the Aghasara story, right? The Madhvacharya did not accept the whole Aghasura story. They got he got liberation. We discussed in that class, right?
Yes.
So in that context, Jiva Goswami says he did not accept one of the references, Bhagavatam. Okay, I'll look it up carefully afterwards. Okay. But was it useful
Prabhuji,
this
since we
discuss?
Yeah, Prabhuji, just small question. We are on the same topic. Why Sridhar Swami is called it's Advaita philosopher?
Yeah, formally he was he's in the early life. As I read it, he was subscribing to Advaitavada philosophy. In fact, Jiva Goswami talks about. Remember when he was asked, Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami was writing Brihad Vaishnava Toshini, and he gave Jiva Goswami to edit it. So Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami is very, very respectful to Sridhar Swami. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also was very respectful, right? Because he's the original commentator of Bhagavatam, goes long back. But that time he was Advaitavadi leaning was there. Later on, he became a devotee, come to the devotional platform. Okay. But some of the writing was like that. Early commentaries were there. It sounded like Advaitavadi slant. So Jiva Goswami did not like it. And he edited out those things, when he edited some of the, and then when he wrote this own Laghu Vaishnav Toshini. So he edited out those portion of it. And here
Yeah, we are.
in this article also is written there
So
that Jiva
Prabhuji,
Goswami did not accept one particular reference is made in Bhagavatam verse that had a slant towards Advaitavada philosophy, Vivartavada philosophy. In fact, he specifies Vivartavada philosophy in Bhagavatam verse itself. So Jiva Goswami thought that that was a previous version of Bhagavatam. Remember, this Bhagavatam verse, what is there in today, that's not the original version. There are a lot of interpolations there, just like in Mahabharata, a lot of interpolations are there. And now in Bhagavad Gita, they are saying that there are interpolations are there, Okay, let's not get into that discussion right now. But Jiva Goswami did not like one particular verse. And I'll go back to that article, that particular reference, and I'll share with you. But Sharad Prabhuji, I wrote, I've been living this with a lack of sleep and all this thing, constantly studying, constantly reading, writing, and everything. Sometimes I make typos, So please pardon me for that. I hope not, but it could be. Okay, then is there anything more questions? Prasad Prabhu, you have been silent. Hello, Prasad Prabhu.
I am there, Prabhu. I am following, Prabhu. In fact, I commented, Prabhu. I'm not sure whether it was audible.
I heard in between, but
yeah,
I'm sorry. Okay, good. But you
Prabhu,
listened to everything,
I'll
right?
go through the PPT, Prabhu. I'll go
Yes.
through the PPT and get ready for the next.
I'll just go through that, complete the PPT, complete the PPT, and I'll share with you, all of you. Okay.
Sure.
And some obvious typos I'll correct to that. Okay, then let's conclude the class then.
Archana Mataji, please.
Take some rest, Prabhu. Please take some rest.
Kindly do the Narsimha prayers, please.
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रह्लादल्हाददायिने हिरण्यकशिपूर्वक्षः शिलाटङ्कानखालये इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा बहे नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहमादिं शरणं प्रपदे तव करकमलवरे नखा अद्भुतशृङ्गा दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव प्रह्लाद महाराज जय प्रह्लाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय भक्तराज प्रह्लाद महाराज की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्णा थैंक यू वेरी मच
Thank you very much, Archana Mataji.
Thank
you all of you all for patience. I must have bored you enough now. Thank you so much. I look forward to see you all tomorrow. Next week.
Today.
That means Prabhuji, next weekend, the coming weekend, day 2 will be left over of this lesson by you.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what we'll have to do now. We are running behind so much now,
Yes.
But
yes.
this is important. I think I found this article this appendix very, very important,